Good morning. We have our last 6th, 8th grade speeches today. We're so happy to have parents and guests and friends here. So great, we're glad you're here. So you'll get to see what to expect for next year. But we will get started, and Lydia Rankin is going to open us with prayer.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for this day and for all that you provided for us. Thank you for letting everyone to gather here today to watch our 8th grade speakers. Please help them to not be nervous and to speak clearly. Amen. Now introducing Ryder, who is speaking on arthropods. Ryder, help from start. Arthropods are an incredibly diverse group of animals, representing over 80% of all known species on Earth. They were also the first animals to colonize land, making them some of the most adaptable creatures on the planet. This remarkable group of animals has survived for millions of years thanks to their ability to evolve and adapt to their changing environments. as well as their unique and adaptable body structures. Arthropods are characterized by their jointed legs, hard exoskeletons, and segmented bodies. These features have allowed them to survive and thrive in a variety of environments, from the depths of the oceans to the highest mountaintops. And in fact, they are so diverse they can be found in almost every habitat on Earth, from the deserts to the rainforests, from the Arctic to the tropics. One of the reasons arthropods are so valuable is their ability to molt or shed their exoskeletons. This allows them to grow and change their body shape as needed, such as when they need to become smaller to fit into a crevice or larger to intimidate their predators. This allows them to repair any damage to their exoskeleton, keeping them protected from the elements and predators. Another reason for their adaptability is their variety of feeding habits. Arthropods can be herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores, and some of them can even live off of scavenged or decaying organic matter. This diversity in feeding habits has allowed arthropods to occupy many different ecological niches, making them one of the most successful and abundant groups of animals on Earth. Perhaps one of the most fascinating features of arthropods is their incredibly diversity. There are more than 1 million species of insects alone, with new species being discovered all the time. Other arthropod groups, such as spiders, crabs, and centipedes, are also incredibly diverse and varied. This diversity has allowed arthropods to specialize in different niches, creating a vast array of unique and special species. One of the most interesting arthropods is the peacock spider. These small species are native to Australia and are known for their incredibly colorful and flamboyant displays during courtship. The males of the species will perform elaborate dances, waving their brightly colored legs and abdomen in intricate patterns. Peacock spiders have been known to incorporate music into their courtship displays, vibrating their bodies in time with the beat. These birds are fascinating to watch and have become a popular subject for nature photographers and videographers. Another interesting arthropod is the mantis shrimp. These colorful and aggressive creatures are found in tropical and subtropical waters around the world. Mantis shrimp are known for their powerful claws, which they use to catch prey and defend themselves. In fact, their claws are so strong that they can break through aquarium glass or crack the shells of crabs and other hard-shelled creatures. Mantis shrimp are also notable for their incredible vision, which is among the most complex of any animal on Earth. A third fascinating arthropod is the velvet ant, also known as the cow-killer ant. Despite their name, the velvet ants are not actually ants at all. They are a type of wasp. These insects are known for their bright red or orange and black coloration and their extremely painful sting. In fact, their sting is so painful that they are said to be capable of killing cows, although this is an exaggeration. Velvet ants are often found crawling on the ground, and their bright coloration serves as a warning to potential predators to stay away. Despite their fearsome reputation, velvet ants are actually quite solitary and are not considered a threat to humans unless provoked. Arthropods have been around for over 500 million years and have survived multiple mass extinctions, including the one that killed off dinosaurs. Their adaptability has allowed them to weather these catastrophic events and continue to thrive in the face of new challenges. They have even been able to exploit new environments, such as human homes, and adapt to changing climate caused by human activities. In conclusion, arthropods are incredibly diverse group of animals that have been able to survive and thrive for millions of years thanks to their adaptable bodies. Their ability to molt and feeding habits and incredibly diversity has allowed them to occupy many ecological niches and environments. They have also been able to survive catastrophic events and adapt to new challenges, making them some of the most successful and abundant animals on Earth. As we continue to study these amazing creatures, we are sure to discover even more fascinating and unexpected adaptations that have allowed them to persist and evolve over such a long period of time. Thank you. Please welcome AJ King to speaking on promise.
The 6'11" forward from Athens, Greece, also known as the Greek League, has become one of the most used names in the basketball world, and his impact on the game is undeniable. But Antetokounmpo's journey to the NBA was far from easy. Today we will explore Antetokounmpo's background and the impact he had on the sport of basketball. Giannis was born in Athens, Greece on December 6, 1994. His parents were Nigerian immigrants, and Giannis was the eldest of 5 children. Growing up, him and his family faced significant financial struggles. They lived in a small apartment with no heating and had to sell goods on the side of the street to make ends meet. Despite these challenges, Giannis found comfort in the game of basketball. Giannis Antetokounmpo's talent on the court was evident from a young age. He started playing basketball at the age of 12 years old and quickly caught attention of scouts in Greece. In 2012, at the age of 18, Giannis signed with a Greek team. He played one season with them, averaging 9.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game. In 2015, Giannis Antetokounmpo played for the NBA draft, and the Milwaukee Bucks selected him with the 15th overall pick. He struggled in his first year in the NBA, just averaging 6.8 points per game. Quickly, he improved, and by his third year, he was averaging 16.9 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. Giannis Antetokounmpo's impact goes beyond just his individual success on the court. He has inspired a generation of young basketball players, especially in Greece, where he is a national hero. He also used his platform to speak on social issues, advocating for racial justice, and supporting local charities. In 2021, Giannis led the Milwaukee Bucks to their first NBA championship in 50 years. He was named Finals MVP after averaging 35.2 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. His performance was one of the dominant in NBA Finals history, and it is cemented as one of the greatest players of his generation. To maintain his top-level performance, Giannis Antetokounmpo follows a rigorous training regimen. He focuses on a combination of strength training, agility drills, and cardio exercises to improve his explosiveness and endurance. He also pays close attention to his diet, eating a balanced meal with lean proteins and complex carbohydrates, with additional fats. Additionally, he emphasizes the importance of rest and recovery, allowing his body to heal and rejuvenate after intense training sessions. All of these efforts and discipline have helped Giannis become one of the top players and role model for young aspiring athletes. Giannis Antetokounmpo's impact on the sport of basketball has been profound. His size, athleticism, and versatility make him a nightmare for opposing teams to defend. He can play multiple positions on the court and can score from anywhere on the floor. His defensive prowess earned him 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and he is a 4-time All-Defensive Team selection. Giannis has 4 brothers, Francis, Thanasis, Kostas, and Alex. The Antetokounmpo brothers share a close bond and have all played basketball at various levels. Thanasis plays alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo in the NBA, while Kostas has had brief stints in the league. Alex currently plays for UCM Murcia in Spain, and Francis has played professionally in Greece. The Antetokounmpo brothers have talked about the impact of basketball has had on their lives and how it's helped them overcome struggles from early age. Giannis and his brother Thanasis founded the Antetokounmpo Academy in Greece, where they provided basketball training and mentorship to young players. The Antetokounmpo's charitable efforts are a reflection of his commitment to making a positive impact on the world and to giving back to people. In 2019, Giannis donated $100,000 to support the construction of a new basketball court in Athens, Greece. Where he grew up, he also worked with local charities in Milwaukee, including the Hunger Task Force, and has donated valuable time and resources to support their efforts to fight hunger in the community. In 2020, Giannis donated 10,000 masks and other PPE equipment to healthcare workers in Milwaukee during the COVID-19 pandemic. Additionally, he used his platform for social justice and has been vocal to support. In conclusion, Giannis Antetokounmpo's background and impact on basketball are remarkable. He overcame obstacles to reach the pinnacle of the sport. and showing his dominance on the court has inspired a generation of younger players. His impact goes just beyond his individual success on and off the court. Yet, as he has used his platform to advocate for justice in the sports community, Giannis Antetokounmpo's legacy will undoubtedly continue to grow, and he will be as one of the all-time greats. Thank you. Please welcome Blaze Stevens, who is speaking on English Bowl.
English Bulldogs are a beloved breed of dog that has captured the hearts of many dog owners around the world. Known for their stocky build, wrinkled faces, and playful personalities, these dogs are a common sight in many households. I have an English Bulldog named Buster, and I know that they are great dogs to have as pets. Unfortunately, not all Bulldogs have a loving family to call their own. This is where Georgia English Bulldog Rescue comes in. English Bulldog Rescue in Georgia is a non-profit organization that aims to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome bulldogs in need. Founded in 2008, the organization has helped countless bulldogs find new homes and families. The organization's mission is to ensure that every bulldog in their care receives the love, care, and attention they deserve. Ruth Ann Phillips, the founder of Georgia English Bulldog Rescue, started to foster and take care of sickly bulldogs after she encountered her first bulldog in 2006. She formally started the Georgia English Bulldog Rescue in 2009. Georgia English Bulldog Rescue is located in Atlanta. The organization's team of dedicated volunteers work tirelessly to rescue bulldogs from various situations, such as abusive homes, puppy mills, and shelters. Once rescued, the bulldogs are taken to a veterinarian office for thorough examination and any necessary medical treatment. The organization then provides a foster home for the bulldog until it's suitable for everyone can be found. There are usually around 30-40 dogs under Georgia English Bulldog Rescue's care at any given time. It is expensive and time-consuming to care for this many dogs at once. The rescue organization continues to grow because they have the financial support they need to stay afloat. As a non-profit, they depend on sponsors and fundraisers. One way they make money is through sponsors. The sponsors pay up organizations in exchange for advertising. The funds raised help pay for the organization's expenses such as fostering, supplies, and medical services. Fundraisers are another popular way of raising money. One fundraiser Georgia English Bulldog Rescue depends on is the Bully Ball. At the Bully Ball, donors play casino games and participate in raffles. The Bully Ball raises huge amounts of money each year. They've raised over $1.56 million for Georgia English Bulldog Rescue, helped get over 990 bulldogs adopted. 100% of the proceeds go directly to support and care of rescue bulldogs throughout the South. Georgia English Bulldog Rescue rehabilitates and rehomes English and French bulldogs that are sick, neglected, abused, or injured. The rescue regardless of medical condition. Another way of raising money is name enrollment. In the fundraiser, donors of $100 are given the opportunity to name one of the dogs in the shelters. One of the reasons Georgia English Bulldog Rescue is so important due to the health issues English bulldogs can face. Bulldogs are prone to a variety of health issues, such as breathing problems, joint problems, and skin problems. These health issues can be costly to treat and require a lot of time and effort on the part of the owner. Unfortunately, not all owners are willing or able to provide the necessary care for their bulldog. As a result, bulldogs often end up in shelters or worse. English Bulldog Rescue in Georgia is committed to ensuring that every bulldog in their care receives the necessary medical attention to live a happy, healthy life. The organization works closely with veterinarians to ensure that every bulldog receives the best care possible. The organization also provides education to potential adopters on how to properly care for a bulldog, including their special health needs. Adopting a bulldog from English Bulldog Rescue in Georgia is a great way to give a deserving dog a second chance at life. Not only are adopters providing a loving home for a bulldog, they are also supporting the organization's efforts to rescue more bulldogs in need. Adopters can be rest assured that their new furry family member has been thoroughly examined by a veterinarian and given the necessary medical treatment. In conclusion, English Bulldogs are a beloved breed of dog that brings joy to many households. Unfortunately, not all Bulldogs are fortunate enough to have a loving family to call their own. English Bulldog Rescue in Georgia is a non-profit organization that aims to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome dogs in need. The organization's dedicated volunteers work tirelessly to ensure that every Bulldog in their care receives the love, care, and attention they deserve. Adopting a Bulldog from Georgia English Bulldog Rescue is a great way to give a deserving dog a second chance at life, while also supporting the organization's efforts to rescue more Bulldogs in need. Thank you. Please welcome Thomas Morris, who is speaking on Black Holes.
Black hole, the most fascinating, mysterious phenomenon in the universe. These mysterious objects are known for their extreme gravity, which is so powerful, nothing like this. The concept of black holes has been studied for centuries, but it wasn't until the 20th century that scientists began to understand their true nature. I just researched black holes because ever since I was young, I loved learning about space. Today we'll explore the history and development of black holes from their early origins to their latest discoveries. The first recorded mention of black holes can be traced back to the 18th century, when the English scientist John Michael proposed the idea of a dark star. Michael suggested that the star was massive enough, its gravity was strong enough to prevent light from escaping, making it invisible to observers. However, at the time, the concept of black holes was purely theoretical and remained so for over a century. It wasn't until the 20th century that the idea of black holes began to take shape. In 1915, Albert Einstein published his theory of general relativity, which provided a new understanding of gravity. According to this theory, gravity is not a force between two objects, but rather a curvature of space-time, caused by the presence of mass and energy. Einstein's theory predicted the existence of black holes, but it wasn't until the 1930s that scientists began to take the idea seriously. In 1931, Indian physicist Subramanian Chandrasekhar made a breakthrough discovery that helped to further the understanding of black holes. Chandrasekhar showed that if a star was more than 1.4 times the mass of the Sun, it wouldn't be able to support itself against its own gravity and would collapse into a singularity that put infinite density and zero volume. It would form a black hole. This concept, known as the Chandrasekhar phenomenon, helped to establish the existence of black holes as a real phenomenon in the universe. In the following decades, scientists continued to study and refine their understandings of black holes. In the 1960s, the American physicist John Wheeler coined the term black hole to describe its objects. We have also proposed the idea of a wormhole, a hypothetical passageway to space-time that could connect to distant points in the universe. While wormholes remain purely theoretical, they have captured the imagination of science fiction writers and filmmakers for decades. One of the most important discoveries in the study of black holes came in the 1970s, when scientists began to observe the effects of black holes on nearby matter. By studying the behavior of stars and gas clouds in its inner galaxies, astronomers were able to determine the presence of supermassive black holes that are massive, that have masses billions of times the mass of our sun. These black holes are believed to be at the center of most galaxies, including our Milky Way. The study of black holes continued to evolve throughout the 20th century and into the 21st century. In 2015, scientists made a groundbreaking discovery where they detected gravitational waves, ripples in space-time caused by the collision of two black holes. This discovery provided the first direct evidence of a black hole, confirming their existence and providing a new insight into their behavior. Today, scientists continue to study black holes and their effect on the universe. One area of research is the study of black hole mergers, which occur when two black holes collide and merge into a single object. These mergers can produce gravitational waves which can be detected by observatories like the Laser Micrometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. By studying these mergers, scientists hope to gain a better understanding of the properties of black holes and the nature of gravity itself. One of the most intriguing black holes in the universe is located in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy. It is known as Sagittarius A. Sagittarius A is located in the constellation Sagittarius and is approximately 26,000 light years away from Earth. It has a mass of around 4 million times the mass of our Sun and is surrounded by a cluster of stars orbiting around it. Despite its massive size, Sagittarius A has a very low luminosity, meaning it does not emit much radiation or light. One of the reasons Sagittarius A is such an interesting object is it has potential to answer some of the biggest questions about the universe. For example, scientists believe that studying Sagittarius A can help us understand the nature of dark matter and dark energy, two mysterious objects, mysterious substances that make up the majority of the universe's mass and energy. Sagittarius A also allows us the opportunity to study extreme gravity as matter gets closer to the horizon. Point of no return around a black hole, it experiences intense gravitational forces. This causes the matter to heat up and emit radiation, allowing scientists to study the properties of black holes and their surrounding environments. In conclusion, black holes are fascinating objects in our universe. They continue to be a subject of intense study and debate in the scientific community. While much remains unknown about black holes, one thing is certain: they represent one of the most extreme and awe-inspiring phenomena in the universe, and will continue to capture the curiosity of future generations to come. Thank you. Please welcome Carla Williams for the speaking on the rock.
It's about drive, it's about power. These are the lyrics of a song performed by actor Dwayne Johnson, better known as The Rock. Many of you may be familiar with The Rock because of his wrestling career, his acting career, or maybe just because of his physique. There's much more to him than just muscles and action movies, however, and he has inspired people throughout his whole life. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is an amazing role model and inspiring person to everybody. You might think that The Rock came from money because of where he is now in his life, but that is not the case. Everything Johnson has is self-made and he is proud of it. Dwayne Johnson is an inspiration to people who feel like they can't make it because he didn't even know he could until it happened. When Johnson was born on May 2nd, 1972, his family was far from rich and he was born into a family of wrestlers. His grandfather on his mother's side was High Chief Peter Maivia, or the name Maivia, who made his way to the professionals in the 1960s and 70s. His father was Solomon Rocky Johnson, who was a wrestler in the American Regional Wrestling Circuit, and he boxed. However, Johnson himself did not wrestle until later on in his life. Instead, he played football in high school and in the 1991 NCAA championship football team in the University of Miami, the Miami Hurricanes. His skills led him to being selected as a player for the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League, so he played with them until an injury cut his career short in 1995 when he turned to wrestling. During the next few years, Johnson made his wrestling debut under the name Flex Cabana. After he had played a couple of matches, he was called Rocky Maivia until he replaced it with The Rock and people liked it. After a short amount of time, less than a year, The Rock captured a WWF Intercontinental title which caused backlash and an increase in popularity. Johnson, over the years, got in feuds with many wrestlers, including John Cena, who you may know from the famous line, "And his name is John Cena," followed by the iconic fanfare. Also, in January of 2013, The Rock gave up his 8th pro wrestling title to Cena less than 3 months after receiving it. Overall, Dwayne Johnson was a well-known, loved, and successful wrestler. In fact, his wrestling career carried him over into his acting career in Hollywood. An article in Britannica School states that Dwayne Johnson may not be the best wrestler Hollywood has recruited, but he shows the most successful. Johnson's first movie appearance was in 2001, Mummy Returns, in which he played the Scorpion King. This led him to play this exact part again in the movie The Scorpion King. The Mummy Returns sparked Dwayne Johnson's career as an actor. He was in many more movies and worked alongside many other famous people. When Dwayne Johnson was first trying his hand at comedy, he was in a movie with John Travolta called Be Cool, which was released in 2005. John Travolta has been best known for being in the movie Grease, which came out in 1978, when he played the character of Danny Zuko, a teenage boy in the T-Birds gang, and her main character in the movie. Johnson was also in films like Driver, which was released in 2010, and Fast and Furious 6 in 2013. Even though Johnson was still acting, he returned to the ring from time to time. In 2014, he was WrestleMania 30, where he appeared with Hulk Hogan, the most popular wrestling star worldwide in the 80s, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, known for wrestling in the WWE. Even though he returned to the ring now and again, he continued his career in acting, showing himself in many more movies. Johnson was particularly busy in the years that followed, dominating the action and comedy movie industry. In 2015 alone, he appeared in the movies Furious 6 in San Andreas and the TV series called Ballers. In 2016, he and Kevin Hart co-starred in the action comedy Central Intelligence. Then he was an actor in the hit Disney movie Moana, in which he was the voice of Demigod Now. In 2017, he took several lead roles, playing important parts in The Fate of the Furious, Baywatch, and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. The same day a trailer was released for a movie Johnson was in called Skyscraper, he announced that he was going to host a competition reality show called The Titan Games. This series featured contestants competing in endurance, space, mental, and physical challenges to gain the title of the Titan. The show was marketed with the tagline, "Titans aren't born, they're made." Even with his newly made show, he was cast in more and more movies, and his fame and popularity continued to grow every year. Not only is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a fantastic wrestler and exceptional actor, but he is also a very smart and successful businessman. He owns and/or is part of many businesses. One of these businesses is the XFL. In 2020, Dwayne Johnson and his wife announced that they teamed up with a sports management company to buy the XFL. It had gone bankrupt earlier in the year for $15 million, and Johnson said he looked forward to creating something for the players, fans, and everyone involved for the love of football. Johnson also is a co-founder and CEO of Seven Bucks Productions. People say he gave the company the name Seven Bucks Productions because that is the amount of money he had in his pocket when he signed into the WWF. These are only a few of the companies that Johnson works with. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson loves to work out and maintain his seemingly impossible physique. In fact, Johnson talked about his first time working out in a virtual interview. He answered questions after his workout in his amazing home gym, Iron Paradise. The first time Johnson ever worked out, he was 12 and he was with his dad. Johnson loves his dad and he loves the rest of his family. He's an avid family man. He often posts himself on social media with sweet, tender videos of him and his daughter and him surprising loved ones with gifts. Overall, The Rock is a famous man and role model. There's a lot to him, and all of it is interesting and motivating. He's an incredible actor, performer, and family man, and he is empowering and inspiring to many people. I hope you know and love more about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Thank you. Please welcome Grant Garinger, who is speaking on snowboarding.
Snowboarding is one of the most popular winter sports in the world. It has gained more popularity than skiing over the past couple years. I have loved snowboarding since I was about 9 years old, and my family has gone to the mountains at least once a year. Snowboarding's rise to popularity hit a few bumps in the process, but never lost interest from its devotees. The first snowboards were made and developed in 1965 when Sherman Poppin, an engineer in Muskegon, Michigan, invented a toy for his daughters by fastening two skis together and attaching a rope to one end so that they would have some control over the board while gliding down the hill. Dubbed the Snurfer, combining snow and surfer by his wife Nancy, the toy proved so popular among his daughter's friends that he licensed the idea to a manufacturer, Brunswick Corporation, that sold about 1 million Snurfers over the next decade. And in 1966 alone, over 500,000 Snurfers were sold. Snowboarding was pioneered by Tom Sims and Jake Burton Carpenter. In February 1968, Poppin organized the first surfing competition at a Michigan ski resort that attracted people from all over the country. One of those early pioneers was Tom Sims, a skateboarder. And in the 1960s, as an 8th grader in Haddonfield, New Jersey, Sims crafted a snowboard in his middle school shop class by gluing a carpet on the top of a piece of wood and attaching aluminum sheets to the bottom. He produced commercial snowboards in the mid-70s. Also during the same period, in 1977, Carpenter, a Vermont native who had enjoyed surfing since the age of 14, impressed the crowd at a Michigan surfing competition with a binding seal designed to secure his feet onto the board. That same year, he founded Burton Snowboards in London, Vermont. The snowboards were made of wooden planks that were flexible and had water ski foot traps. Very few people picked up on snowboarding because the price of the board was considered too high at $38, and many snowboarders were not allowed on ski hills. Eventually, Burton would become the biggest snowboard company in the business. The first competitions to offer prize money were the National Surfing Competition held at Muskegon State Park in Muskegon, Michigan. In 1979, Carpenter came from Vermont to compete with a snowboard of his own design. That race was considered the first competition for snowboarding and was considered the start of what became competitive snowboarding. As snowboarding became more popular in the 1970s and 1980s, pioneers such as Dmitry Milovich, founder of the Winter Stick, Carpenter, Sims, David Kemper, and Mike Olson came up with new designs for boards and mechanisms that slowly developed into other related equipment. Modern-day snowboarding equipment evolved from these developments. Prior to 1998, when snowboarding became an Olympic sport, only 39 ski resorts in the United States allowed snowboarders to ride on their mountain. Snowboarders were not afforded the same benefits as skiers. This forced most snowboarders to have to hike up the back of the mountain and snowboard down the backcountry. In the backcountry, there are no lifts to get you up the mountain, so this would force people to walk up the mountain just to ride down the mountain. Also in the backcountry, there's no ski patrol. Ski patrol is basically the ambulance for the mountain, responsible for rescuing skiers in distress. In the mid-1990s, snowboarding was known as the fastest growing winter sport on the planet with over 6 million riders. With its popularity increasing, ski resorts started to roll out snowboards at their resorts. And in 1998, at the Nagano Olympic Games, snowboarding became an Olympic sport. The halfpipe and the giant slalom were the first two Olympic snowboarding events. On the halfpipe, riders would ride up and down the 22-foot high walls. Riders flew into the air doing unimaginable tricks. They would go flying into the air, spinning in circles and grabbing the boards in ways that looked cool and completely turning their bodies from the way that they could fly. The giant slalom was a big race that involved racing between sets of poles spaced at a set distance from each other. Snowboarders raced between the poles, competing for the fastest time. Because of this excitement surrounding the fast-paced, awe-inspiring new sport, snowboarding has remained one of the most popular Olympic events. In conclusion, I have loved snowboarding for many years, and it has been my favorite hobby in the winter. I love learning about snowboarding and how it has become one of the most popular winter sports in the world. Thank you.
Great job today, guys. Before we dismiss, I want to say something to all of the eighth graders. Y'all have done a great job. Some of you have faced your biggest fear of getting up and speaking in front of people, and y'all did a great job. So can we give them all a round of applause? Seventh and eighth grade, y'all can head back. Parents, you're welcome to come get a hug and a picture. And we'll dismiss that.
You did good, everybody.
Good job. Well, that's it.
I guess I go out and find
Well, I know you have things. I love seeing them. From where they start to the end, it's awesome. Thank you for having me.